For the holiday weekend, my little sister and I, decided that we would go see Frozen 2. And at one point, she texted me. She's like, "Am I bringing the kids?" And I'm like, "I guess you can bring the kids. I mean, it is a kids' movie." So we took her 7-year-old daughter and her 3-year-old son,
Hmm.
and we go into watch the theater. It's jam
Of
packed because
course.
obviously it's the second weekend. It's holiday weekend. It's a huge
So you say
movie.
it's a full house for a Frozen movie, a Disney movie. I'm glad you did
Yeah.
invite me. Thank you. People, kids, and more people.
Yeah,
So go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Um, so going into it, I'd only seen the first one like twice, and it was a while ago. But I was like, you know what? It's a sister movie. It's gonna be a fun family. I'll go with the nieces and nephews.
Hmm.
And it was very cute. I heard a lot of people talking about how it was even better than the first one, and it was. It was great. Um, they did have a couple of songs that were just as good as Let It Go, that I've been seeing. Calm down. Calm down. I know you love that song. But they did have some good songs with that. The story, it didn't feel like it was forced. It felt very natural. You did discover a little bit more of their past, their parents' past, especially like where their parents came from, and a little bit more of Elsa and her powers. And I don't feel like it was the story was so heavily on Elsa's the special one and she's the one that has magical powers. It was a very good balance between the two sisters. Um and it just there was one moment that I don't want to say because no spoilers here on this, but there was one moment that um when it happened in the movie, my 3-year-old nephew was just like, and like was traumatized,
Oh, wonderful.
and my sister had to get into the seat with him and hold him until like he didn't cry or anything, he was just in shock. But it was still very good. Everything, of course, Disney, everything was resolved, everything was great and ended with a happy note. um there could definitely be more Frozen movies, especially with how well this is doing in the theater. But from a story wise, a song wise, the action, everything flowed even better. And it's partly because we already were familiar with the world and the characters, so they didn't have to do all the world building. But it didn't feel, like I said, it didn't feel forced. It felt very natural with the way that the magic progressed in the story, and the story led to the next steps, and a very good balance between all the characters. There were
Okay.
some new characters. There was this one little like fire frog that was the cutest thing. I was like, that's their baby Yoda. That's their little green for this movie. Like every movie has to have something, and that was this movie's little
All
like,
right.
oh. But overall, it was a great movie. I highly recommend it. If you have kids at all, definitely have them watch it. You might get sick of the songs after
Yeah,
a while,
I heard there's
but
a song every like 5 minutes.
there was a lot of music, and I don't remember there being that much music in the first one.
Okay.
There was one that actually Christoph was singing a song, and it was totally 80s ballad, like music video 80s ballad.
So
It was
it was a
hilarious.
rehash of Shrek. Gotcha.
Not really,
Okay.
but it was funny. And then the adult moments, there was one point where he like dresses all up and everything for
Uh-oh.
Anna, and he was like, just enjoy this. I did this for you. Enjoy this. And she's like, I like you better in leather. And I'm like, all the parents started laughing in the theater. None of the kids got it, obviously, but like the little parent jokes in there were kind of they were sprinkled throughout, and it was pretty hilarious. But no, it was great. I give it an 8. It was a very cute movie. I would watch this with my kids. If my little girl wants to watch this, I will definitely have this on. But I'll probably end up knowing all the words to the song. It will be very addicting. Um, but yeah, it was. I think the female characters, Anna and Elsa, led more with the action, um, and the more emotional storyline went to the male, which was interesting. But it was a good balance. Great movie.
Awesome.
So, non-spoiler review of Frozen 2. Um, yeah, enjoyed it. Now, I went with our sister. You went with our dad to see a different movie, completely different.
Midway. We've been planning to see this for a while, mainly because even though my father never served in the, or our father never served in the military, he's always been very big military supporter. But his wife's father is actually former military, army, I believe, and he actually went with us because it was something we all wanted to see jointly to see what it was like, etc. Because there have been some decent movies on it, etc. I would say no spoilers, obviously, just like yours, but this movie had a decent tone through it. There was never really any lull parts. Um, just like where I said the Joker movie, I really enjoyed the music, where that stood out to me.
Yeah.
This movie, it wasn't the music. The action was solid and good. The story was good. The pacing was pretty solid as well. Through and through, it was a decent movie. But I enjoyed the intelligence side of things the most out of the entire thing.
What do you mean by that? Like
The
how the
like
planning of it all?
no, the processing of information that comes in and how they're receiving
Okay.
it and how they're translating it, and Washington disagreeing with what the intelligence is getting at Pearl
Okay.
Harbor, etc. So basically the intel, the behind the scenes stuff, I enjoyed
Okay.
that the
Yeah,
most, even though it was action, bang bang, shoot 'em up kind of movie, as Dad would say. Yeah, I busted that bitch out. But it was overall okay for the story through and through. The intelligence was the best part. I didn't like it, the movie itself.
As a whole?
As a whole, I did not like it. I walked out kind of upset about a few things. And I'm not a
Okay.
history buff. There were nods to specific things, like when Midway was being hit at one point, they had a filming crew because they were supposed to do a like a movie shot or scene there. They
Yeah.
had that in the movie, and they're getting ready to get hit, and the guy's like, on the roof, and you're like, haha, that's funny. He wants to get on the roof because that's what the director actually did during
Yeah.
live hit with the live ammo. But every scene in that movie had a setup and a trying to pull in your heartstring. As soon as that one's done, a setup and a try and pull in your heartstring. There was 15 fucking scenes in this movie. The whole movie was built on trying to pull a specific heartstring and setting up little specific things. Like it opens with Pearl Harbor, which is a great way to
Right.
start a movie like this.
Yeah.
So it starts with an action pack coming in. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
things going on, and there's just, I can't spoil anything, but if you go in for historical accuracy, you'll be moderately okay with it. There was mainly when we were in the car riding back, all we did was say they did this right, but they've tanked on this and completely missed that information. It was mainly bitching about the movie. Its action was
is
okay. The story was okay. The actors were pretty good. I really enjoyed the actors. They did the portrayal of the people very well, and it was historically accurate for a lot of things. But I made a mistake. I should have gone to 1917.
So is this are you recommending, because this is our what to watch section,
Nope.
non-spoiler what to watch section. Now,
D
there's
minus.
a what to watch or a if you maybe you might like it, but then there's a don't watch it.
I give this
Is
a
this
D.
a don't watch it?
I give this a D. Mainly because, again, the intelligence side of things, there were a lot of things in it that I enjoyed. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to say the movie's bad. I just didn't like it at all. And going with
Okay.
somebody who is a veteran and somebody, Dad researches all this shit all the
Oh, yeah.
time. So
Oh,
there
yeah.
was a lot of things. Even him and I were walking in the car. I was like, so what'd you think? He goes, meh. And so, I mean, a whole movie of action starts with Pearl Harbor, ends with Midway, which that's not a spoiler. But when you have one served and one loves the military through and through, and both of them walk out either complaining or going, meh, you did something
Yeah.
wrong.
Yeah.
There were a lot of moments in it that I did enjoy, a lot of highlights in it. I thought the actors played their roles incredibly well, but it felt like it was, if you don't know anything about Midway, if you don't know anything about the history of
Yeah.
why that was important, go see the movie. You'll get a lot more enjoyment out of anybody that's actually read a fucking book. There
Okay.
was historical
Well, are you-
accuracy in it. I'm not going to be wrong about that, but it seemed like there was literally just, they were trying to pull on every single heartstring they possibly could, every chance they got. There was no sympathy on anything. It was always just trying to set something up for 5-minute payoffs, set something up, 5-minute payoffs, set something up, 5-minute payoff.
Okay.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, well, I'm sorry that was a bust. I mean, it's doing decently well at the theater.
Yeah, that's fine.
But you have 1917 that you had mentioned. That's coming out in a couple weeks. So
I might watch that just to get this one's taste out of my mouth.
All right.
I give it a D. I would say again, watch it if you aren't like a big history buff. Watch it if you just want general knowledge. Watch it if you have a school project you want to learn about Midway. That's perfect. If you want to learn about Midway and you got a project coming up where you need to kind of give a presentation or write a book report, perfect story for you. Go for it. But for people who want that in-depth look about everything, I don't think it would satisfy your taste. It's got the good action. It's got the decent, solid story, but meh.
Well, kind of sad. Well, we have one Frozen who I gave it an 8, loved it, and then we have Midway who you gave it a D plus?
No, don't give it a plus. It's a D.
Oh, a D. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
It had its moments, but not nearly enough to carry that thing.
All right then. Wow. All right. So then, anybody who has seen these 2 movies, let us know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Love to talk about them a little bit more in depth. If you want to bitch at him or argue with him about this,
Everybody always does.
Do that. Please feel free to do that, because I don't think anybody's going to argue with me about liking Frozen.
Yeah, nobody's going to argue with you when you said they had better songs in this than Let It Go.
I mean,
go ahead and
backpedal.
backpedal.
Let It Go.
Well, I'm
like
saying you literally said they had songs in there that are better
that
than
match the level
Okay.
of Let It Go. That's what I was saying.
Okay, I think you're wrong there too. I haven't even watched the movie.
Better. They're so better than Let It Go. No, they had songs that matched the catchiness and everything of Let It Go.
Okay.
So I'm thinking of 2 in particular. But anyways, so yeah, those are our non-spoiler reviews of Frozen 2 and Midway. Let us know what you guys think down below.